Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and we're up today with the Panalisa Let's Make This. And for today I've chosen this one, and I have cut it apart, and this is a kind of articulated jointed die which does 3 animals. But I looked at it, and personally I think we can get 5 characters out of this die. Now, obviously it's linked below, so you can go and see on the website what Panalisa has made. But I think that there's 5 animals in this die, and we're going to watercolour it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And so I've chosen a bunch of colours from my Tombow markers, and I can tell you the numbers of those as I start to use them. I've got my water brush, which of course I'm going to need to test before I use it. Yeah, because you never know what colour you had on there last time. And I'm using some old stamps. Now, if anybody knows if I'm wrong or right on this, then let me know. Right, I think these are the animals we're going to be able to make. I'm going to use that as a cat, and if you look there, it's really difficult to see. I think that is close to my heart. I don't know what year these are, but that is the cat. I think we're going to be able to do, I'm going to use that as the lion. I'm going to use that one as the bear. Just pop those down there so that you can see them. You might have these stamps yourself. So, right, this one is going to be the rabbit, and this one is going to be the pig. So I think that from that set, which is supposed to make 3 characters, we're actually going to get 5. So that's what I'm going to try. And when I say I'm organised, I should bite my tongue, because you know disaster is about to happen. Right, I'm going to run off and die cut 5 sets of this, and then let's get stuck in. Right, so I've done some die cutting, and I've got my scruffy mat here, and I also meant to say that I'm using those old rubber stamps there, but you could totally use your peachy keen stamps to make these little paper dolls. I love them. They kind of remind me of the things that you used to get in museums years ago, you know, in the museum gift shop. Right, so I've cut bodies, and you can see the holes in there. They're going to take brads. Now, I grabbed off my shelf. I've got these, and there's all sorts of brads in there. If I put my hand on, you can see as I flip it over, there's hearts and stars, flowers. There's all sorts in there. So I've got that pot of brads, and in this little mixed pot here, I've got more vintagey and Christmassy looking ones, and I've also got the little tiny clips. So that's my mixed pot, and if I flip that over onto my hand, you can see exactly what's going on in there. So we've got brads, plenty of them. I'm just going to pop those there because of course it's articulated and you're going to need to articulate it. So I've cut out 5 pairs of legs, and of course I chopped off all my fingernails, so I'm sliding everything off the desk. I've cut 5 pairs of arms. I decided to cut 2 of the lion manes because, you know, you can overlap them a little bit like that just to give it a little bit of, you know, dimension. And you also get 2 little pockets. I've cut 2 of the large one. I've got 1 of the small one because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put them. I've got 3 little tags that I've cut out. Oh, sorry. I cut 2 small ones. I've cut 3 hearts, and I think I've got 2 stars. I think that's right. Yeah, so 3 hearts and 2 stars. So those are like little elements that can go on top. Right, now, I've already chosen the markers that I've shown you that I'm going to do the bodies with, but because they're rubber stamps and I'm doing the heads, what I'm going to do is choose the colours for each character, and I'm just going to watercolour the paper so that I can stamp the faces and then put the die on top. Hopefully I've got a piece here that's going to take my rabbit. There you go. So I'll be able to watercolour just, you know, very quickly, and then add any highlights I want to after, and stamp the face for the rabbit. So I'm actually going to be watercolouring the faces first. I'm just going to pause a second. Right, so I've moved a few items off my desk there, and I've got my stamp block, which I like to do my scribbling on, and I have got a piece of kitchen paper, and it's always important to squeeze out your water brush, you know, just in case there's any colour on there that isn't supposed to be. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a slight hint of pink on there, so I'm just scrubbing that out. Right, so first up, I'm choosing a piece that is going to be the lion, and I want to make sure that my die is going to fit on there. Right, so I'm using the yellowy orangey colours for my lion, and I don't know whether I'm going with this or this. I think I'm going to go with this. Yeah, I quite like this one, so I'm going to move that out of the way. Now that shape there can be the lion, and it can also be the bear. That's what started making me think that I could do other characters. And like this one can be the pig, and then I looked at it and I thought, well, that can also be a cat, you know. So that's where this is evolving to. So first of all, I'm just going to go into the area where I think my character is going to be. And I do like loose wishy-washy when I'm doing watercolour. I don't kind of like overcomplicate anything. And that is essentially priming your paper. And that is really pale, and you probably can't see that at all. So now I'm scribbling off here and getting the lid back on my pen. Not really using much water, and you can see that it's getting darker now. And I do not mind my watercolour marks at all, because I'm not seeking perfection. Now if I hold that up, hopefully you can see that, and you can see the grain. This watercolour cardstock is Walmart, so that for me is my lion's face, because the lion mane behind it is going to be in the much darker shades. So I've used that colour for the lion, and I'm using this one again as the bear, and these are the ones that I'm going to try and do first. So, you know, I'm kind of positioning stuff where I think it's going to fit without wasting any cardstock. So I'm going to kind of, you know, think about that way around for the bear. And I want to do the bear obviously in brown. I'm going to go for this one. This colour is 992. The colour I just used there on my lion, sorry, is 991. And I really do wish that Tombow would actually, you know, put colour names, because I think it just makes life easier for a lot of people to say, you know, you're using sunshine yellow or canary yellow or something. Much easier to go off hunting for a colour like that than a number. So I'm just scrubbing my block again, and I've still got some of my lion shade. That doesn't bother me. Ooh, but that's a lovely colour. I'm going to put that down. And I've got my die next to me, you know, and I can roughly see where it's all going to fit, if you know what I mean. See that? So I know that that's going to fit on there. But if you wanted to use mixed media stamps and stencils to do this and pop them on a planner page, because they're articulated, you can tuck like little envelopes and tags and stuff behind the hands and the legs, because you can use them almost like, what are those clips called that you slide around? So those little page clips to hold things in place. You could use the arms and legs like that on a planner page. Now that is a very nice pale shade. Now for the rabbit, I just want to use grey. And once again, I'm picking up a scrap of paper that I've got here and making sure that my rabbit die is fitting. And I'm doing it like this because I just don't want to waste the paper that I've got. So this time I am going to clean the block because I don't want a brown rabbit. I want a grey rabbit. And this is quite a pale grey. I'll get the number in a second. Just want to get plenty down there. And this is number N95. So let's get this down. I have to water it a bit, I think, just to prime that paper off. Put quite a bit down. I mean, it's already been 10 minutes, do you know what I mean? And I've only coloured 3 pieces of paper. Oh, right. Clip. You should start to see that get a little bit darker. Probably not very apparent, but it is up against the white. I mean, if I hold that up, I don't know if you can see that. It's just a really, really pale grey. So what I'm going to do is I've got the cat, which I'm not actually sure what colour I'm going to do the cat, but the pig is going to be pink. So I'm going to do the cat and then I'm going to do the pig. I know that's going to be in 761, which is this really pale pink. And I'll be right back to stamp the faces. Right, so here we've got the lion, the rabbit, the bear, the pig and the cat. And for the cat, I decided to use 933. Right, so now we need to, they're almost dry. We're going to stamp the faces on there. I'm using the Ranger Distress Archival ink. And the reason I'm using that is because it's waterproof. And these might still be, you know, just a little bit damp. So first of all, I'm thinking about my cat and which way around I kind of like it. I mean, you can see there my watercolour is wishy-washy and a little bit stripy. So I'm going to take advantage of that and, you know, sort of have elements of stripiness within my cat. So I've got that there and I'm finding my cat, what I'm using for my cat stamp. And I'm just going to ink that up. So I'm hoping it's going to fit within the face. But that's the beauty of doing it this way. Is that, there you go, you see, error. That's why clear stamps are so wonderful sometimes. So I'm going to have to do that again. But I don't think that I've got any chance of copying that. But I mean, nah. Do you see what I mean? But anyway, that was the idea, but I'm going to run away and quickly do that one again. Right, so I've done that, and this time, as you can see, it's a lot more orangey. So I'm just going to try again. I won't be so scared about the outcome this time. Just going to rock it gently. There we go. Now we've got a cat's face. And then the next one is the piggy face. And I'm just making sure that everything fits where it should. And I can basically place everything where I need to. So going in for a piggy face. I'm going to go there for that. So there's my pig. So we've got pig, we've got cat. Next up, I think I'll do the rabbit. And this one is going to be, I'm piling up the ones that I've used so I don't get confused. This one's going to be the rabbit. I'm going to go there. So there's my rabbit. This one is my lion, and the die fits in that way around. And I'm choosing that one for the lion. So I'll go there. And then this one is the bear. And I'm pretty sure it's that way. So this is my bear face. And then what I will do is run off and then die cut them. I'll go there. So that's my bear face. Right, I'm just going to take these 3 dies and cut those 5 characters, and I will be back. Right, so there are the cut out characters, and you can see that they've got noses. So I'm actually going to go in and colour the noses. So for the rabbit, I'm going to use my pink, and you already know the number of that. And then on my pig, I'm going to try and just darken that up just a little bit. So we've darkened up the pig. And then for the cat, I think I'm going to go with a goldeny yellow colour. This one is 993. See if that has any impact. Just trying to enhance it slightly. And then for the lion, I think I'll actually use the same colour, because we're going to be using this in the lion's mane. And then on the bear, I'm going to go with 992. So he's going to have a slightly browner nose. And then I want to do the cheeks, so I'm going to use some chalk. And this is the Jane Davenport. You can't get it. If you find it, you may have to pay an absolute fortune for it. They were on sale on the Spellbinders website, but they're just all gone. I mean, as I say, if you find it on eBay, you're going to be paying a lot of money. I'm going into this one, and I'm going to wear that out on the piggy cheeks first, because that's got the most pink to it. So let's have a look what we've got here. Some lovely big pink cheeks. Just going to go around and round. Don't worry if you know, kind of go outside of where you expected to, because the nice thing about chalks is you can blend them with your finger. But that just, you know, I think gives him a nice little bit of character. Now, I'm not so sure about my bear. I think if I'm going to do him, it needs to be kind of slightly above there where those little freckles are. Kind of there. Yeah. Don't really want to overdo that one. And then with my rabbit, I'm just going to go right in there. Make that quite noticeable. And then blends that one down just a little bit. So we've got pinking of the cheeks. And then I've got my lovely little lion. And I've got my cat. But I think what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to use one of the browner colours to give them some facial features. Now I'm looking and I'm thinking, I haven't even used that colour yet. And I'm wondering if that's a good colour to use. I think I'm going to go with this one. So just tapping that off. And I'm going to go gently into the freckle area. And rub that around a bit. Just gives them more character, doesn't it? And then I'm going to do the same on my kitty cat, and I don't think this will show up so much, to be honest. Probably not. But I don't want to go too dark. Maybe I'll try pink again on the cat's face. Let's see what happens there. Pink and orange, who knows what will happen. Oh, that's not so bad. And then I'm just going to dust that around with my finger. So now we've got a little bit more character into our animals' faces. We have a good look at those. And I just think they're really, really sweet. I absolutely love that. Now, all of the colour pens that you've just seen me use for the characters' faces, I am going to run away and I'm going to watercolour all of those legs and bodies, and I will be back. Right, so I finished watercolouring all the body parts and I've just rested all of the heads on top. But they're still a little bit damp. But what I want to do is just go around the edges very lightly with a little bit of black distress. So this is distress oxide that I'm using. And as I said, I don't want it to be too heavy, but I just want a little bit of defining line. Now, there's all sorts of things, you know, that you can do with these. I mean, you can make them look really prim. You could cut the legs and the arms or even the body in a patterns paper, or you can stencil, or you can stamp. You can cut these in faux leather and use metal jump rings to hold the joints together, and then fit a keychain, maybe put a crystal to each of the jump rings, and make really pretty key rings that way, or just dangles for the spine of a journal. I mean, obviously having a lot of dimension holding the legs together, you're not going to be able to use it as a bookmark, but you could certainly use it as a dangle on the outside of the spine of a book. So there's endless possibilities with something like this. But I just love them because they just remind me of those lovely little paper toys that you could get in the museum gift shops, you know, on your way out the door. Many years ago, of course. Right, I'm going to add a little bit of black to the outline of all of them and I'll be back. Right, so I'll put a little bit of black outline on all of them, but I've decided on my rabbit, if you have a look there, I want to add some more pink. So I'm going to put pink in the ears. So I'm just using my chalks again and just carefully blending down. I just think that's, you know, because rabbit ears are always portrayed as having that pink bit. So I'm just putting that in. And, ooh, I just think that looks better. I love my little rabbit. Right, now we are going to put one together. I've still got some little pieces to colour in, which are the little stars and hearts that I showed you at the beginning, and those little pockets. But we need to put one together. So I'm going to go for the rabbit, and I'm going to tip some of these out. I'm going to go for flowers, I think, on my rabbit. And I need to see what size brads I've got. So I'll just pour them all out on the table, make sure that I've got enough. And I'm going to go for these like deep pinky coloured ones. And hopefully I only need 4. And I'm hoping that I've got 4. So dip a few more out. I can't see one in there. Ah, let's grab some of these. Nope. I know that there has to be one in here somewhere. I think that's it. Yes. So I've got 4. I'm going to pick those all up again in a second. And it's super easy to put your bunny together. I'm going to put the head on last. So first of all, you've got to decide which direction you want your arms, whether you want them, you know, to be kind of huggy, or if you want them that way around where he can be a bit more expressive with his arms up in the air. But I'm going for huggy. So I'm just going to pop a brad into there. And I'm going to split it with my fingernail. And you can see it's got his jointed little arm. He or she. But you could actually use these as journal tags as well. because you could just stamp, or you know, put your scrawl in the belly section. But I do like that. Whee! And you also get a secondary hole where you can pop little wooden sticks or something through. Now, personally, I don't think that I got the armholes right. But I will look at that in a minute, because you do get two separate holes with these. So I've got my little legs, and then I'm going to look at those arms in a second. I'm going through the big hole for the legs. I'm making sure I've got the right legs, and I have. So I've just got to get my fingernail in there and squish that flat. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'll stick the head on and have a look and see if I like him like that, or if I want his arms going the other way. I think on my bunny, actually, I'm going to have the arms going in the other direction. I'm going to have them flung up in the air. So I'm just going to take those out, and then I'll pop off camera and put the other ones together and come back, and then stick those little elements on. So what I'm doing is switching them so that he can throw his arms up in horror. Oh, dearie me. I love the way his tummy turned out. I don't know if you can see it on here. Because he's in grey, it looks marbled. There you go. I just love the way the paint went all streaky. So yeah, this rabbit is throwing its arms up in horror. And I may even change my mind about this and change it back again. There, see, throwing his arms up in horror, bless him. Now you can glue that on, or you can use some foam tape, but I'm going to glue it on, and I'm hoping that my glue bottle is going to work. So I'll just give it a squirt off the side, and it does need filling up again actually, so I'm just waiting a couple of seconds for it to run down. Right, we have success. So I'm just going to put a good blob of glue there, and I'm going to straighten it up to me and pop my bunny head on and give that a squeeze. Clean up the bit that's squeezed out. He's like, ha ha, pick me up. Don't want his head to fall off because it's not completely dry yet. But I'm going to put the other ones together and I will be right back. Right, and so there we have it. From what should be 3 characters, we've got 5. So we've got a lion, and we've got a bear, and we've got a cat, and we've got we've got a pig, we've got a cat, and we've got obviously the rabbit, which comes with those ears. Now they've all got their brads in, which means their little arms and their little legs move, and I just think they're really, really great characters. I mean, if I pick the bunny up here, I mean, even if you're using them, you know, with children at story time or something, and it's just something to play around with, I just think they're absolutely wonderful. Way, yeah, I do. I absolutely love them. Oh look, whoo! It's jumping through the air now. Swing those legs. And I love my little pig. And I do believe Julie, if Julie's watching, she got me these brads a couple of years ago. So I've got those in a pot, and I just use them on jointed things when I need them. But as I was saying, I just think they're really, really cute. And I've already given you loads of ideas, and the little faces can be used just on their own, you know, if you don't want to go the whole body route. But I mean, look at my cat, my little Ginger Thomas. Isn't he wonderful? I love that. And your peachy keen stamps on the faces are going to look just as fabulous They really are. Right. I thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be up again with another Let's Make This for Panalisa tomorrow. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, I think that's it. I was wondering if I've got another haul coming in, but no, I think that's it. And once again, thank you so much for watching. And as usual, all links below. Bye.